All right, it says we are live. I'm going to check to make sure we're live because sometimes there's a delay, and I'm using StreamYards right now. So let's do that quick check. Make sure we are truly live before I start talking. All right, then we are live. All right. So hey, what's up? Some of you will see this when it's daylight hours or whenever. And so if you do comment and ask questions, give me a couple of days to get to it because I am busy. But not that I'm ignoring your comments or questions. If they're productive, if you're here to troll, I will troll you back and it will be fun. Well, so I don't think you want to do that. But anyway, what's up? I'm the Nerdy Entrepreneur. Lauren here, just chilling. I figured I would test StreamYards going live on YouTube. Usually I use OBS. And if you see some of my reviews on the House of the Dragon, which I post Sunday after the show, uh, then you're familiar with that. But I'm usually using a different software. So I'm trying Streamlabs, see maybe it might be more appropriate for this kind of thing. And so check this out. This topic I'm gonna talk about making money writing, and how to pick up like an extra $500. Because that's not that's not a I think if you're just trying to figure out things to do and to make extra cash, it's not saying create a full on business because some people just want to test the waters. The majority of money I have made over the last 10 years has been because I was writing for people or writing for companies. Okay. So there are people out there who make their money writing, and they're not just fiction authors or authors that write nonfiction stories or people who are journalists. And actually, a couple of years ago, it was like the height of really the online newsletter, where there are people who started online newsletters. They built a readership and they started charging for ads. They started charging for the newsletter itself to be read. And some people have gone to have an acquisition of those things and, you know, made some money. So it's been interesting last few years. But, still writing, you don't have to create a newsletter and do all that if you have the skill to write. And by skill to write, there's different types of writing. There's people who write ads. I write ads. There are people who write content, as it's called. I don't particularly love the word content because it's not very specific. Because there's scientific writing, there's technical writing. Like if you work at a tech company or you work in a company where you're in a IT department and you're the one who's writing the manuals, well, guess what? There are people who get paid to do that. And there are always companies looking for people who know how to write technical writing because that's a different type of writing. I don't write technical writing. I don't write training manuals and things like that. The people who are known to do that get paid by the companies to do that. So there's different types of writing. You don't always have to be a copywriter who writes advertising or email marketing or anything like that. You can be a person who writes blog content for personality or on behalf of a company. There are a lot of people right now trying to build their profiles on LinkedIn who are thought leaders and they don't like to write. You can link up with one of those folks and be like, hey, listen, I will write an article a week for you for LinkedIn and write you 2 blog posts that will be for LinkedIn. So you have consistent content to build your brand on LinkedIn because that's what you're trying to do. And there are people who get paid to do that. You think if you hang out on LinkedIn, which is one of the most boring places on the planet, do you think all those people are writing their own posts or writing their own articles? No, they are not. They are hiring writers like me to do it for them. Now, if you don't want to learn how to write sales copy, you can write that type of thing. If you're really good at prose and if you already maybe write in your job in some capacity, you can people will pay you to write for them because they don't want to do it. They don't have discipline to sit down and actually get through it, right? There are people who get paid to write research papers. There's just a lot of ways to make money writing. But oftentimes it's a tricky subject because with writing, you know, people want you to write, but some people will not value what you write. And so you have to be able to stand on the principle that you should be paid for your writing, and then how much you should be paid. Because a lot of people, it's easy to go on Upwork or anywhere else and find someone who's very cheap to bring some writing out. And I'm not suggesting that you do that. I'm not suggesting that, no one pays a good money for writing. No, that's not true. I've been paid thousands of dollars to write short pieces of content. I've been paid thousands of dollars to write, landing pages for sales copy. I've been paid a lot of money to do things, because I have a particular skill that I've worked on for a very long time. And I put myself out there that I could be someone who's dependable to carry out whatever thing we agree to. And that's something I will say, like, hey, listen, if you really want to get into like, hey, how can I make an extra $500 a month? Well, know how to write something. Maybe you need to learn how to write copy. Maybe that's the thing, right? Maybe you're already used to writing yourself and publishing online, which is very simple and easy to do. All you gotta do is find people who are not comfortable writing, but need written content. You could go many places to go look for those people. Some people put profiles on Fiverr and Upwork. Some people will go and call their friends. It's like, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. Anyone need something? Some people will put a post saying on LinkedIn saying, hey, listen, I'm a writer. I've been writing content. I'm looking for a new client. Contact me if you need me. Many ways of putting yourself out there to get your first 1 to 2 or 3 clients. Okay. And I'm saying this because this is true. There are people who on LinkedIn, they have no idea what I really do because I do post content relatively often. I have content there, I have video content, I have all kinds of stuff. And they're like, hey, I always see you as a content writer. So I've had people ask me, hey, listen, can you write something like that for my company? Because we got this promotion and we're looking for this type of writing. I've been asked about those things, and has led to, some money in my pocket, which is good because I have myself to feed and my cat. Right. And other family members to feed sometimes. So, in the game of making money writing, the biggest thing is people don't have the skill set to write. That's a problem. Like if you don't know how to write, you gotta learn how to do that. 2, they pick the wrong type of writing to do. Okay. There's writing that pays a bit better than others unless you have built skill and reputation and you go after the right people who have the money to pay and value it. So a lot of writers are broke because they have not developed the skill. They are not professional, and they go after the wrong type of companies, wrong type of people who cannot pay them or do not value what they do and want it for cheap. And that has been the biggest thing I have noticed from writers. And, I value myself. I might do something at a cheaper price point. Usually that's because there's something else that you have that I want. And so I'm trading a piece of that for that. But most of the time, people pay me what I require to be paid, what I say I want to be paid. And the other thing is a lot of writers don't price well enough. But that could be a whole other video, a whole live stream. So I don't want to get too much in that. But you can you can easily pick up $500 in writing a month if you're willing to put yourself out there and you know the type of writing you want to do. I'm a trained copywriter. You can learn how to write copy. You can put that time and dedication to learn how to do that. And then the other part is really learning how to put yourself out there. That's the other part. And some people are just very uncomfortable. It's like, hey, I want to be a writer behind the scenes. But guess what? You have to market yourself. If companies don't know that you're available to write, they ain't coming looking for you. They don't know you. You haven't built a brand around yourself yet. Right? You haven't built a brand. You might need to go on some podcasts. You have to write yourself. Like, what's a writer who doesn't write? I write all the time. I put content out all the time, whether it is video like this, like, hey, I'm live streaming here. It's video content. I have a channel. There's video here. I have videos that are on LinkedIn. I have articles on LinkedIn. I have posts on LinkedIn. I have posts on Facebook. I have Twitter. I have a lot of content that circulates around. I have multiple websites with different types of content on there. Video. I have a podcast that has bunch of audio. I have interviews I've done, video and audio interviews. I have a lot of content surrounding me. So when people's like, "Hey, let me see something about you," cool. Here's a website. Here's some articles. Here's articles over here. Here's the interviews I did over here. Here's a training I did over here. It's all out there because I put myself out there consistently so that when it comes to, hey, I want to pick up a couple more clients, it's not as difficult. And that's the thing that you will have to get over. If you can get over that, you can make $500 a month writing. You really can. I'm not saying you should become a copywriter because there are people who are not particularly, they're not sales copywriters. They write SEO content. Like I can write SEO content because that requires research, which a lot of people don't like to do. A lot of people don't like to do research. Like if you're going to write SEO copy, which I have, you have to put in research. You have to have keyword research and all that, and then write the articles. The link, it needs to be written in a way that's readable. And then the other person puts the technical end of the backlinks and everything else on there. And you have SEO content articles, which I've written before. I've done it for myself. And so you can be paid that. Like people have paid me like $1,200 to write an article or 2 small blog posts that were SEO content. SEO, not SEO content, particularly on the subject of SEO, but had to be SEO optimized in terms of what the subject matter was for a website. And I've done that before. And you can do it too. I'm not saying that you'll get paid $1,200 an article when you start out. You might just get paid $200 an article. So you turn around and get you 3 clients. But the hardest part of this is not the learning how to write certain things, learning how to write sales copy or learning how to write good content. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part of picking up an extra $500 a month by using the skill of writing for other people and companies is putting yourself out there that you are available to write for other people and companies. It's turning around and writing yourself on different platforms so that you have your own portfolio of content. If people want me to write content for them, which I don't particularly like writing content, I like writing sales emails and that sort of thing. That's my thing. I have content out there. I was like, you want a portfolio? I'm not giving you my client stuff. I sign NDAs and things like that for some of the companies I work for. So I can't share that with you. That's not your property. But you want to see my writing? You think you're going to figure this out? Because I'm a researcher. Part of being a direct response copywriter, which I'm trained in, is being a researcher and pulling it out and doing all this work. You can see that on these websites. You can see that, hear me talk about it in these podcasts. You can listen to my podcast. You can do all those things. So I created content around myself to help brand and market myself. That is the hardest thing about making money writing, is putting out content for yourself, going out there telling people that, hey, I'm available. That is the hardest thing about it. That's why a lot of people get sucked into learning how to write certain types of content, learning how to write blog posts. They get sucked into the doing and the learning and not on the actual promoting of themselves and selling. Being in sales conversations and negotiations with people, they're not skilled in that. That's a skill set that you learn by doing, and there's books that help you in training. We get to the point where you can afford it and practicing. But let's take a scenario here, because I said $500. Let's say you want to make extra $500, and how are we going to do it writing? Okay, well, and you've gotten over the head funk of I can't do this, I'm not good enough, because that's the other thing, the head funk. Writers and head funk does not work. First thing you need to do is you got to get a couple of pieces out there for yourself, right? And let's say you're going to write SEO content or something, or content for like what do you call it? Let's say you're going to write content for LinkedIn. So you pick the topic in which you want to be hired for. You turn around and you write about companies that really need to focus on building their profile on LinkedIn. The best way to do that is to have written content on there. And if they have this written content, they can have someone read it and then turn it into audio content, which they can also use and take out clips and sentences and use that for their other marketing. And you can write 2 and 3 or 4 blog posts talking about it, different aspects of it or more. And then companies who do it really well and companies that don't do it really well, that are missing out on the market because they don't do these things. You can actually do that. And then you can put that on LinkedIn all over the place because that's where you want to be. And what I would also suggest is you get like a landing page or a website. Don't have to be fancy. Just quickly throw it up and put those articles there too. Just like, hey, this is who I am. You have your contact information there, clear for everyone to see how they can contact you to work with you. And you put your articles there. Boom, 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 boom. Same articles you put on LinkedIn, you put them on your website too. So you have content there. Then you write 2 to 3 more articles that are not on LinkedIn, but just specifically for that site as samples, sample content. So you pick a company and you're like, if I were to, and be like, if I were to write a LinkedIn post for them, this is what I would do. And you write whatever. You pick another company and you write whatever. You pick another company, then you write whatever. Now you got 3 portfolio samples, plus writing on LinkedIn, plus writing on your website, which was copied over, contact information. And now you have something that people can reference. There's an email. There's email attached to you. There's a website attached to you with some basic stuff, and it don't have to be fancy. It's just like a portfolio site, really. And then you have your content on LinkedIn, building your connections. And then you reach out to some company and say, hey, listen, I don't know if you're looking for it, but hey, my name is Lauren, and I'm a content writer. And I don't know if you're looking for one, but I think, your company really needs to focus on making sure you build a really good profile on LinkedIn. And here's some examples of things I've written about that subject as well. If you want to see some of my writing examples, go here. And you keep doing that. You keep messaging people on LinkedIn, message people on LinkedIn, email people. And if you keep doing that, like if you said, hey, I'm going to send 10 of these out a day, 10 out a day, or 10 Monday through Friday, I'm going to send 10 of these messages out. I guarantee you're going to get a response from somebody over time, 10, 20 messages out. You're going to get a response out of someone over time. And while you're doing this, you continue putting a post on LinkedIn, writing about the subject on LinkedIn, talk about a company who really does really well. And then you take those posts and you put them on your website. And then you turn around and you pick another company and create another sample portfolio piece and put it there. And by the time you finish, you'll probably have 5 to 6 or 7 pieces, plus the content on your website with your contact information for people to contact you, plus your LinkedIn profile, which you contacting people on LinkedIn, with you posting on LinkedIn so they can read and follow what you're doing. And you keep doing that. And I guarantee if you're reaching the 10 to 20 people a day, you're going to get a response. There are probably people who will say, no, thank you. I'll keep you in mind. Cool. But you're going to get someone who's going to say, yeah, you know what? I really like this. We really want to do something. Can we have a talk? Reach out to 10 to 20 people a day doing that. But you already set up the groundwork. While you're practicing your craft or the midst of learning, you've already set up the groundwork, which is something that a lot of people don't do. If you keep doing that for about a month or less, you'll probably grab at least 1 or 2 clients and be like, hey, it's $500 for me to do 2 posts. I'll do 2 LinkedIn posts a week. Or 2 and they'll get you $500 for that. So imagine you close 2 people at $500. And you have to write 2 LinkedIn posts for them a week on each company. It's not a whole lot of money. You're going to be spending time writing. If you write slow, you're going to be spending a lot of time. That's not enough money. But if you're doing 2 LinkedIn posts a week, I just said posts. That's about 6 posts a month. So what is that? That's like $83 a post. Remember, you got time and stuff and, taxes and all that other stuff that goes into it. So maybe you say that maybe you increase the price or make it make sense for you. But like if you're starting out, you've never had a writing gig before, and you get a writing gig, and yeah, sure, you're writing 6 blog posts a week. Maybe it's 500 words or less. Or we have a word limit on it, like no more than 600 words a post. They have to give you certain material at a certain time so you can write. And you get $500 a month for writing 6 blog posts or posts for LinkedIn. And you get 2 people like that. That's $1,000 in the revenue on the side. Of course, you got your taxes, so it's going to be for something or whatever. But at least you got started. At least after taxes and all that, depending on where you live, because taxes are different everywhere, you might have like $800, $750, $800 a month writing 12 articles, or maybe you limit it to like that's 4 or 5 LinkedIn posts. Let's say it's 5 LinkedIn posts, whatever you want to do. At least you got started. If you do a halfway decent job, get them to give you some testimonials and stuff. And so for the 3rd or 4th client, you raise it. So now it's $600 a month for 6 posts a month or whatever. And you just keep rinsing and repeating, and only take on as much as you can actually do. But you'll have extra money. You'll be able to do those things. And that's the cool thing that's the way you can actually do it with making writing. This does not require you to have specialty skills. Okay? You don't need specialty skills here. This is just writing content. Can you research? Can you put words together? Can you have someone check over your work for spelling? Can you keep into the whatever criteria to give you on a subject? Can you make it interesting? Because a lot of companies, they write horrible LinkedIn content. But if you're just not going to do it, say, hey, I could do this. Look at everything I wrote. You can get started doing things like that. In fact, I'm going to show you a very basic website. I'm going to actually make it for the nerdy entrepreneur about some of the basic information I'm going to have on it. And so that you can mirror a site like that for if you decide that's what you want to do. And even if that's not what you want to do, I think every content creator should have a basic website with basic information like contact information. How can I contact you? Because a lot of companies want to work with people, but they don't know how to contact you. Okay. So the easier you make that part, the easier it is to get jobs to get paid. So that's something I want to say. Until the next time, I want to stream me making that, but I can't do that. I haven't figured out how to do it on Streamlabs, so I'll use something else. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you got something out of it, please comment and please like and follow, subscribe, baby. Subscribe to the channel and click that alert button so that you know when we go live, when we go on. But please subscribe to the channel and like this video. And if you have questions or comments, put that in the comments. I'll get to it in the next couple of days. Until next time, this is Lauren, the Nerdy Entrepreneur. Have a nice night or a nice day.